Hey guys, it's Dan, your host, your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video for today. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead. This one is a highly talked about topic right now, so I definitely want to give my thoughts on this one. This one is talking about the alternate ending that was originally planned for the end of The Walking Dead. Alright guys, this one's going to be doing another video today. This one's going to be doing another video for The Walking Dead. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another discussion topic video for today after the series finale of The Walking Dead. It has now already been a week since The Walking Dead has wrapped up. That is absolutely insane. And low-key, it's actually kind of sad a little bit that we're not going to get a new episode of The Walking Dead tonight. So, yeah, very unfortunate. I already missed this show. I already do. But we're going to get all the spin-offs next year. So, we're good. But anyway, wanted to discuss a very interesting topic. I think at least a good few of you guys were letting me know in yesterday's video that this is out, and I really wanted to kind of talk about this in its own video. But it sounds like Angela Kang and the rest of the writers and the crew of The Walking Dead, apparently the ending for episode 24 is not exactly the original intent. Apparently they did have an alternate ending planned for a long time for The Walking Dead, and they just didn't go ahead and actually do it. And what that basically was is a time skip, which they even hired actors and everything. So I'm assuming they did film this. Either they filmed it or something like that, because the actors were here. So, they must have done something. But there we can see in this photo, we've got RJ at the far left. I don't know who that kid would be next to him. The one with the hat, I would definitely say is Coco. I think the other one is Gracie, for sure. The blonde that's like smiling, that kind of seems like Gracie to me. And then I think Judith is the one on the far right. So that is really, really interesting. So basically the original intent is that they would have done a issue 193 type of ending, and you would have seen a grown-up version of Judith. You would have seen, hell, a grown-up version of everybody. I don't know how long that would have gone on for, seeing how the episode only ended with a time skip, like the last 5-10 minutes. So it would have been probably very quick, but we would have seen a major time jump. Which, for comic readers, this actually is not that surprising, because we did have a major time skip in the comics of I mean, unless someone can correct me, I think this was 20 years in the comics. This was a while. I don't think they ever stated how many years exactly it was, but basically in the comics, and I won't spoil what goes on before this because there's some pretty major spoilers, but I mean, if you're watching this video, you should know what happens in the comics, but regardless, just in case, in the comics, they did do a major time jump at the end, and it was a very, very big deal, and it really capped off the show very well. Now, oddly, you would probably sit here kind of wondering, well, Dan, you would probably rather see a big time jump, right? Because it was so good in the comics. I actually think that the end of the main show actually is better than the end of the comics. I do. Which I know might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I actually prefer the ending of the TV show rather than the comics. Because in the comics, and again, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but some of the stuff they did before this issue was very, very insulting, and I don't feel like the TV show did anything that was insulting, per se. Insultingly bad, right? The comics did. It ended well with the final issue, but the stuff before that was really, really bad. So I much prefer the ending of the TV show. Also because you're doing all these spin-offs. You're doing the Rick show, you're doing the Maggie Negan series, you're doing the Daryl show. So you can't skip 20 years, because then they're going to be a whole bunch of old people, right? So you don't want to do that. Plus, because the actors are coming back, so you're going to want to still use them for the spin-offs. And yes, you could time skip the main show and then kind of explain what they did during that time. That's true. You could definitely do that. And in that case, Rick could already be home by the time the time skip happens. That's true. But I feel like this was better, because you don't want to skip and then go back in time for God knows how many years from our point of view, from the fans, and be like, okay, now we got to spend 5 years worth of spin-offs to sync up to this time skip, right? So honestly, that's a lot better. So I am actually surprised that they went so far with it to where they got the actors, they got them there, they designed the sets, everything like that, and then it sounds like somewhere in there they were like, no, we don't want to do it. So I don't know what made them change their minds. I guess maybe the spinoffs, or maybe they felt like it was too much like this. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I really like the look of the actors. I do. I think it actually looks like what they would look like when they're older. So, I'm kind of curious to hear where you guys stand on this. Like, would you rather they did this? Like, do you think this might have been a better idea? It's hard to say without actually watching the scenes, but do you think that would have been a better ending for the TV show, or are you happy with what we got? Because personally, for me, I'm actually a lot happier with what we got. I think they did a good decision there because, I feel like this time jump, it would have really messed with the spinoffs. It would have really messed with a lot of stuff. And I think it would have overall been a little bit of a mess, to be honest. So I'm happy they didn't go with that. I'm happy they stayed true to what Walking Dead is. And, they're going to support the spinoffs and not do too much of a time jump and, do things that way. So definitely a good decision on their end. But now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think this was a good idea? Do you think that this would have been a better conclusion for The Walking Dead? Or do you think that, no, they did a good decision? Doing a time jump like that, doing some sort of thing like that, it's a little too much because, like I said, in the comics, I didn't even we all remember the end of the comics. Literally, it was like 48 hours before we read this issue. They're like, oh yeah, it's the final issue, by the way. So at least the TV show didn't do that too, right? But they did do a time jump, a very big time jump in the comics. So I'm very, very, very surprised that they didn't do it in the TV show. And I mean, again, I do want to kind of show this real quick just because it is so freaking crazy. Like in the comics, I mean, we see so much. Like, for example, let's see right here. Yeah, take a look at this. So we've got an older Maggie right here. Look at that. And she's like way older and she's like part of the Commonwealth and stuff like that. To me, that is really, really crazy. And even to where I'm not going to, I don't really want to spoil too much else just for people that may or may not have read the comics, but there are a lot of things that are different. Like here's Lydia right here. Lydia looks way different in the comics as well too. So yeah, definitely one of the craziest parts of the comics is that, this, oh my god, man, that's crazy. We got like older Michonne and stuff like that. So yeah, you guys get the idea. It's a pretty crazy twist in the comics. I was always kind of wondering if they were going to do it in the show, and it sounds like they actually had plans to. Somewhere in the middle of that, though, they decided not to do it. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff. But anyway, let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about that? Make sure, of course, to let me know what ending do you think was a better idea. Do you think the one we got is good? Because that's kind of how I feel. I feel like the ending that we got was perfect. Or do you think that maybe this would have been better? Let me know. So anyway, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos of The Walking Dead. Make sure to follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead reviews to get more Walking Dead videos like this. And I'll see you guys really soon for more Walking Dead videos. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
I've heard stories. Walkers that can climb walls and open doors. I was never sure if they were just stories.